jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. Salute to everyone that's in the building. Jay is on deck. What's good with it? I see you. To everyone else that is on their way in, salute to you. I don't know about these people that's seeing notifications, but I don't have no control over the YTC. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no control over the YTC. Some people get the notifications, some don't. But I'm about to get into some reality mix here. You know, first I just want to say that everyone has their pick of topics that they can talk about. It's always something going on, you know, in the world itself for us to talk about. When it comes to boxing, the community is extremely small. So a lot of information that is transmitted here on the YTC is somewhat remediated, you know, information that we hear. But I want to talk about pretty much what's going on with the way, from what I see, the Hispanic fighters on how they're going about making a name for themselves, or them not playing by the rule book. That would be a better term to use. Them not playing by the rule book at this point in time. As the title said, the race matters. Massive changes are happening, and boxing fans are ignoring them. Now, what race am I talking about? This is the race to be the next in line after the old guard is out. This deals with a lot. It's kind of, you know, an ambiguous type of freaking phrase because it does have more reasoning than one. You know what I'm saying? What race is it going to be? You know what I'm saying? Who is going to be the next to take the place of these top tier fighters like Terrence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Who's going to be the next in line to take their spot? Because at the end of the day, those are only two. Now, of course, Canelo, when it comes to the paychecks, all right? It comes to the paychecks, everybody's going to say him because it's popularity and everything. But when it comes to the heavyweight division, Alexander Usyk is grossing more money than Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Tyson Fury too. Those heavyweights over there making crazy money. Crazy money. And you know, to be honest with you, they've made money that Canelo never made in his career. But since Canelo is the more popular fighter, people will say that he's the cash cow. No. You have to look at the heavyweight division and what they was able to make over there in the sandbox. Those heavyweights aren't as popular as a Canelo or Crawford, of course. You know what I'm saying? Of course. But at the end of the day, when it comes to those numbers that they're making on that check, it's huge. And it's paychecks that these fighters that's at a lower weight class haven't seen in their career, even Canelo. Now, he might have seen, of course, over 100 million in his career, if you add some checks together, right? But when it comes down to making 80 million, 100 million in one night, no, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So we have a race for the next fighter that's trying to be in the place of the popular fighters, the one that we pay attention to most of the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Crawfords and Canelo. Canelo is going to be out the sport, believe it or not. He's going to be dying out here as he's already dying out in a sense, but he's going to be removed from the sport soon. It's only a matter of time before, he say he's hanging up the gloves and that's going to be it for him. It's only a matter of time before Crawford gives you the same departing, speech and say it's been nice, and he's going to give his salutations to his fans, and then he's gone. So we're going to have two big names out of the sport. Now we have a dilemma. We have a dilemma on certain aspects on what we used to know about boxing and what we are seeing go down in boxing. Boxers these day and time seems like they're not concerned about a title. And the wildest part about this what I'm talking about, the Hispanics are taking shots. They're more how you put it? They're more forthcoming, you know what I'm saying, with how they're going about business. And the wild part about it is that people are really buying into it. We had Edgar Berlanga just come up short, damn near a lopsided fight. But he's out here saying that he's the cash cow, right? And look, Teofimo Lopez, yeah, he's calling out Crawford and all that. But he's not taking any steps to fight him because he knows he's not in the equation. But he has no problem with clout chasing his name for recognition until he steps in there and fights somebody else. And we all know he fought Claggett. Did the fans criticize him as much as they did Crawford Madrimov? No. Are people out here criticizing Edgar Berlanga? No, because they say Puerto Rico loves him. Okay? What about Xander Zayas? Who's more popular, Xander Zayas or Edgar Berlanga? Me, myself, I would say Edgar Berlanga. But yet, they still represent the Puerto Rican colors when they're stepping to the ring. Xander Zayas just turned, I think, 22 years old on fight night. And then Edgar Berlanga, he's pretty young himself. But when you talk about the culture, when you talk about who people can relate to, when you bring in the old word swag, it seems like Berlanga to me has more of it. Berlanga will come in there dripped out. And, I've seen him in New York, him and his people, and he does have a lot of fans. I just didn't like the fact on how, he became frustrated and, bit an opponent, and people just let that shit slide. Didn't say nothing. Didn't say anything. But I would say when it comes down to it, he has more Puerto Rican fans or the culture fans or whatever following him. Now, what is the ultimate dynamic to the next in line to be the cash cow? A lot of these fighters are not gravitating to titles. They're gravitating to opponents that benefit the consumers that want to see them fight. It's kind of like old school. Boxing was considered the gentleman's sport. You go there and you watch a fight. It wasn't all about a title, really. If you was able to afford it back then, yeah, you got a title fight and all that. And you have to understand when the Four Bell era actually ushered itself into relevance, right? But back then, you say, hey, a fight going on, you get your lady, or a lady get their man, then, you dress up and you go to the fight. Now we seeing that same mentality with a lot of these Hispanic fighters, in my opinion, that's calling out fighters that not at the top of the rank structure that we want them to fight, but they're calling out fighters that is more, engaging to the fight fans or whatever, who can bring money to the table. Because we all know that some of these fighters, man, that's at the top of the food chain. You know what I'm saying? Like Corinne, for instance. Corinne might be at the top of the ranking ladder, but no one's trying to climb up there on fight night, just sitting there in Philly, unless you're in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to watch him fight. Nobody's trying to watch him fight, bro. So it's more so some of these fighters just gravitating to popular fighters. And there's one king, I would say, it's one king that I have to salute. It has been doing this for a while now. And it just went under the radar because he himself has turned the corner. He's turned the corner in a way where he's staying out of the spotlight. At one point in time, he was in the spotlight for the wrong reasons, and he's staying out the spotlight right now. But he needs to come back to the spotlight. He needs to come back with a vengeance in boxing in the spotlight. There's one person that these fighters are taking his tag. They're taking his freaking itinerary. They're taking his playbook. They're doing what he's been doing. They're not going to give him credit for it. But I peeped the game, though. A while ago, I peeped the game on what's going on. Unfortunately for this individual, he's just been laying low and just waiting for a fight. And that individual is El Chinchecker Tank Davis. Tank Davis has been fighting fights that he wants to fight. I always said that he has been able to maneuver in his own way and didn't really care about the titles. Though he has been world champion, he has been fighting fights that he and his team want to fight that's more popular to the fans. Now, the fans might say, oh, that's not the more popular. No, you have to understand who he's been fighting, though. They may not be champions, but the people wanted to see the fight happen. The people wanted to see the fight. Not so much those individuals that's have championships that's really haven't been able to test the waters like Tank. You know, Tank has been up here on a pay-per-view scale, and you have the house packed out, and people want to see him. But I think what a lot of fight fans are ignoring is the fact that we have a lot of Hispanic fighters like Edgar Berlanga that's really committed to attempting to do the exact same thing. He is. Seriously, pay attention to what he's doing. So let's go to a recent article that just came out, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I don't care too much about the other freaking controversy. I'm paying attention to how the logistics is going to work out in the next 2 years with boxing. I've been thinking very strenuous about this ever since I knew Deontay Wilder was going to be phased out, and American fans, I've been on record saying the American fans want to see him out, but he's the only American heavyweight champion that understands how to win and did so. And look, I'm not saying I'm right, but we seen the aftermath of him being out the sport, not being, the bronze bomber that we used to highlight really. We see Jared Anderson, boom, get stopped. Torres, he has a long ways to go before he becomes a threat. We're going to be in a longer depression than we were with the Klitschko brothers. And it's all because the American champion that we had a group of individuals that can't make up their mind. I found out just by just having some time to think this over, right? I was more so thinking that, yeah, they hate Deontay Wilder because of his freaking style, unorthodox. They call him windmill and all that. They had all these tags and names for Deontay, right? So I'm saying to myself, okay, he's giving you the wins, undefeated. This is before Fury, doing what you want to do, but they say he won't fight nobody. They refuse to mention that the Klitschko brothers dominated prior to Deontay Wilder beating Bermane Stiverne, right? I mean, they had to get up out the sport, retire. Deontay Wilder's on his way out the sport. He might come back for another one. But Wilder was the man. He's an Olympian. Not only the man in heavyweight, he is a legitimate certified Olympian, and the fans shitted on him, right? So I say, okay, in the heavyweight division, you always have fighters that have an awkward style. But then you get the Crawford era too, right? Which is blended in with the Deontay Wilder era. But you have Crawford, who can fundamentally box, technically sound, and the fans despise of him too. The only thing I can link up with him and Deontay Wilder, it can't be the same state. You know, they are two skinned brothers than myself. Could that be it? I don't know. I don't know how an era of boxing can despise of two fighters. And at one point in time, I thought, okay, they don't like Deontay Wilder's style, but he's still knocking heads off. And then for Crawford, they didn't have nothing to say about his style because his style was more in uniform with what you would call a masterclass boxer, a technically sound fighter. And he was out there winning too. He was knocking dudes out, but they wanted to hate on him. So I look at it like these new fans with social media is all about who's more, who they can freaking gravitate to, who they can, you know, think is the cooler fighter. You know what I'm saying? Who's more popular, the popularity meter, who has the higher popularity meter at the end of the day. Because it's not about boxing. If you take a look at it, it's not about freaking boxing. Because some of these technically sound fighters, they aren't adored by the boxing fans, man. The fans don't adore them. And they're winning. They're fighters, man. They're technically sound. They're going out here. And these fans just pick. So when I heard about Edgar Berlanga, right? And how he recently said what he wasn't going to do. So let's go to the article and read what Edgar Berlanga said what he wasn't going to do, right? Edgar Berlanga rejects Morrell and Plant, wants Munguia Charlo. So let's first look at it this way. Berlanga is at 168 pounds, right? David Morrell was the Reggie Belt champion. We can't really say Edgar Berlanga was fighting the top competition there, but Morrell worked himself up with the amount of fights he had to get a Reggie. And Caleb Plant, of course, reigning IBF world champion for quite some time until he fought Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he finally had an opportunity to fight his nemesis and David Benavidez, and he lost the fight. All right. So when you've seen the Canelo Jaime Munguia fight week, you've seen Edgar Berlanga on deck, right? You've seen him out there at certain points confronting Plant and say he'll knock him out. This what I don't understand. You know, this is a bit, you know, distorted for me. Like he was going around showboating, so to speak, or showing out, as we used to call it back in the day, telling Plant he'll knock him out. Then he ran into Morrell and he told Morrell he'll do this, that, and the other. If you ask true boxing fans like myself, I say Morrell and Plant beats Edgar Berlanga. That's just me. But recently he's came out and said he wants Munguia and Charlo. He wants Munguia and Charlo. And out of those two, I believe he only wants Charlo. He don't want no Jaime Munguia. Munguia just fought again from his Canelo fight. He just went in there and fought again and earned the stoppage. You don't want no Jaime Munguia, but he does want him for the money because he feels Puerto Rican Mexico. Edgar's trying to take his swag, his looks, the pretty boy image. He's trying to provide you a Hector Camacho macho type rise, and he's trying to take over in an indirect way. He's not doing it by what we expect the book to be. He's doing it by popularity, what he brings to the seats. He's trying to say, "Oh, the fans love me." He put the video out of all these guys on bikes supporting him. That's why I say you can't sleep on Belanga's fan base. He has a crazy fan base, man. But does his fan base equate to what he should be doing as a fighter when it comes to the paychecks? Because if Canelo Alvarez was forked 30 mil and you got only 700K, you have a long way to go, buddy. You have a long ways to go. Let's get to reading. I like reading articles. Reading isn't fundamental. Edgar Berlanga said he's not interested in fighting David Morrell or Caleb Plant for the next fight. Berlanga, 22 victories, opposite 1 defeat, 17 KOs, feels that his fight against Canelo Alvarez 2 weeks ago on September 14th proved that he's the next pay-per-view star and the cash cow 168, y'all. I reiterate, September 14th proved that he's the next pay-per-view star in the cash cow 168. What really makes Edgar Berlanga believe that? That's not the question I'm going to ask. It's the fact that he is putting it out to the public that he believes he's the pay-per-view at 168, the cash cow. We've been hearing this face of boxing, face of boxing, face of boxing. It's really no one definition for the face of boxing. It's all about what you can put together. You know what I'm saying? How can you prove or convince the fans that you're the next face of boxing? How do you become the face of boxing? Is it your championships? It seemed not to be. Unless you Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just that. When it comes to the new era. Because their face of boxing, from what it seems like, is going to be based off popularity. That's what I'm seeing. That's what's rubbing off on me based off what's out there. Ryan Garcia, for instance. His popularity. Big fan base. He goes into picking an opponent and say, "I'm bringing the fans to the arena, not you. I have a bigger fan base than yourself." And look, once again, I can't say that Ryan Garcia is lying. You know what I'm saying? Because he's did well with 2 big name opponents. Of course, Gervonta Davis, he's not. I'm not giving Ryan Garcia leverage to say he brought the most of that. No, Tank has an incredible fan base that wants to go in there and see him give the highlight reel stoppage. Match him up with somebody like Ryan Garcia, who's outside the ring, that has that fan base via the transport of social media followers, right? He's been able to do his thing. Also, we have to go off the pretty boys. We have 2 pretty boys, right, that are saying that they the face of boxing and they the cash cow and all that. That's Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlanga. Now listen, I don't say pause at any of my shit. I feel good at what I'm saying. I don't look. I hear niggas saying pause every other minute. I'm like, why? You got something to hide or something? You can't have a complete sentence. I'm telling you, grown man shit based off what I say. If I say they going off the pretty boy image, that don't have shit to do with anything else except what I said. So we have Ryan Garcia. We have Edgar Berlanga, 2 pretty boys in the sport of boxing. And they're really making some strides. And people should be understanding and concerned about that. Especially when it comes to black fighters trying to be the next cash cow and at the top of the ladder. This article goes on to say, Morrell and Plant will likely destroy Berlanga, as would Diego Pacheco, Christian and Billy, Osley Iglesias, Trevor McCombie, Sergey Deryanchenko, and all those other 2 guys they have. Berlanga is a good bottom feeder level contender at 168 and should never have been ranked number 1 by the WBA. That was more popularity junk based on Berlanga's fans in New York City. So this is Dan Ambrose, of course, and he said that Berlanga is a bottom feeder level contender. Now, yes, that's a harsh word to use, bottom feeder. Now, Now, how far is these words going to travel into the hearts of the fight fans that's supporting Edgar? Like, once again, is he telling the truth about bottom feeder when it comes to opposition? Yes, it could potentially, make sense that he's not fighting the big dogs, the ones that's been previous champions, that's popular like Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? That's popular like the David Morrell. Jaime Munguia isn't popular, but he's a former champion. Did Jaime Munguia gain 3 to 4 more followers after his loss to Canelo? Possibly. Possibly. What about Mar Charlo? He's not popular, but they know who the Charlos are. He's been going through so much. I'm surprised. There must be an interconnection of friendship between them off the record. For real. Because it seems like there's a level of respect that Berlanga has for Mar Charlo, even though he's not relevant now and he's going through some shit. It seems like Berlanga want to bring him back for a payday to help him out. Sort of like Deontay Wilder did for Luis Ortiz to help him out with his daughter. Twice. I think there's a level of respect for Berlanga to call out Mar Charlo, who hasn't fought at 168, who's been out the sport for a long time now, and he's been going through some sobriety issues, allegedly, right? But it's the whole point of Berlanga being at a point in his career where he can reach back and put Mar Charlo's name out there, and people say, "Oh yeah, Mar Charlo, yeah, he is. He fought at 166 last time. He looked pretty decent against Jose Benavidez. Yeah, I'd like to see that fight." So what Berlanga doing? He's not manipulating. Like, I'm cool with Berlanga more than I am Ryan Garcia. I'm not cool with Ryan Garcia at all. But Berlanga, I've seen him in person at several fights. And dude has a crazy fan base. Dude has popularity. And also Berlanga caters to the black fan base too. I don't think Ryan Garcia, just because he took some pictures with some black fighters after his freaking racist tirade, that he has more black fan base than Edgar Berlanga. I don't see it. The swag meter, if we want to bring in old school terms, for Berlanga and Ryan Garcia is way different. Way different. Ryan has this goofy in and out, play on a freaking kiddie roller coaster and act like it's really going up and down some damn 200-foot hills and shit. You know what I'm saying? And Berlanga's damn adrenaline rush is more so a speedboat. With a boat full of women. Drip flying behind him and everything. The motherfucker bouncing off the water and shit. Different level shit. It goes on to say Berlanga's despite losing 12-0 to Canelo, he talking about Berlanga. Berlanga wants Jaime Munguia or Jermall Charlo next. Berlanga feels that a fight between him and Munguia would be big on pay-per-view due to the rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico, which still exists in the pockets of the U.S. Berlanga has adopted the villain role in his career, a professional wrestling type persona that many fighters now use to gain a following. Dates back to 1940s when wrestler Gorgeous George adopted to become famous. Heavily influenced Muhammad Ali and many boxing and professional wrestling athletes have taken the role. Berlanga is just the latest. It involves a lot of bragging, taking shortcuts by avoiding tough competition, and using fouling during the fights. Now, what I do agree with this is the lot of bragging and taking shortcuts by avoiding tough competition. And that is exactly where I'm trying to anchor this. This is what I've been seeing from fighters. From pretty much the fan base not holding these fighters accountable when it comes to who is at the top of the food chain and why they're not fighting them. But a lot of fighters would say, okay, Tank, he sort of did the same thing. But look, you have to view it from this freaking this lens. It's the fact that Tank has been on pay-per-view several times. Tank is making the money. Tank has the stature to go into a negotiation, and they're not going to go play no fucking games with him trying to remind him what he didn't do and what he should have did and all that. He is an attraction. He is a main attraction fighter, period. These other fighters that's trying to be that, the Ryan Garcias and Edgar Berlangas, they don't have the entertainment value of a Tank to cut corners. They don't have it. Tank is not the pretty boy, you know what I'm saying, that the Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlangas are. But the shortcut they're taking is to try to utilize that, take full advantage of that and their fan base to bring butts to the seats and be able to pick their opponents and continue to increase their freaking margin, their payout. You know, they want to raise the monetary bar and what they're worth. They want that their boxing fight code and their appraising value to increase every time they step into the ring. So they're going about it not so much picking the top tier competition that you would think, even though Jaime Munguia is a 2-division champion. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can really tell you on Jaime's record, you know, who they remember him fighting up to that point. But he's a name. He's very active name. And Jaime Munguia is still in his 20s. But you know one thing about Munguia? He only has one loss. He is a Mexican fighter. But he don't have that attraction to the fight fans. He got a badass wife though. I'm not gonna hold you on that, man. He has something to go home to. His girl is bad. But when it comes to him making these astronomical paydays, he just ain't it. You know, he can box. Yes, he can box. He's legit certified. He's been in there with the Canelo Alvarez. Him and Berlanga has the common opponent of Canelo Alvarez. But when it comes to how can they, you know, get the fans to tune in? How can they do it from afar? How can they do it up close? You know what I'm saying? What is their method? Do they have a personality that fans love and adore? You know, you got to think about that. Jaime doesn't have it, but Edgar does. And Edgar is taking shortcuts. He just eliminated, you know, he take Caleb Plant coming off the McCombie fight. McCombie wasn't a big name, but he was in there with Caleb Plant, which elevated his status too. And the fight turned out to be one of the best this year. And a very action fight. Seriously. It said popular villain type fighters, and it goes on to say Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Adrian Broner, Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia. Now, if you look at the 4 out of 5 of these fighters, 4 out of 5 of these fighters, what do you see in similarities? What do you see the 4 out of 5 of these fighters? You see that Devin is black, Adrian is black, Keyshawn is black, and Shakur is black. Even though he's black in Puerto Rico, he's black, right? And then we have the Ryan Garcia who loves talking about blacks, but he ain't black. So they put Adrian Broner faded and lost much of his appeal. Okay, they had to put that out there in asterisk. Let's just leave that alone. We know Adrian Broner brought that goddamn entertainment to the motherfucking ring. Adrian Broner, when he was on top, he was an entertainer. If you look at the Shakur Stevenson, the Keyshawn Davis, and the Devin Haney, they can't touch Adrian Broner on the entertainment value. But Adrian Broner always been Adrian Broner. He keeps it all the way 100. He ain't never tried to be no goddamn no Sesame Street puppet. No, Cincinnati don't make him like that. So he was so raw. Yeah, at one point in time, he would have been there. At one point in time, you know, man, Adrian Broner was that fighter, super popular. Until his fight with Marcos Maidana, you know, and then it kind of went a little bit down a slippery slope from there. But he put in the work so early in his career, though. and fans, man, both black and Hispanic, love AB. But if you look at the Keyshawn just starting out, Olympian though, just starting out, but Olympian, silver champion, another silver champion, Shakur Steven, you know, just getting in the groove, and then Devin Haney. Now, if you want to compare the championships, you're talking about 3 division championships with Shakur Stevenson, vice 2 division championships with Devin Haney. But they're not popular though. They're not popular in the eyes of the fans like the Berlangas and the Ryan Garcia. They're not. We seen Ryan Garcia go in there with Devin Haney, and nobody was talking to A side. Hey, Devin should be the A side. No. You didn't hear that talk. Crazy. Because I respect the fact Devin went in there and white gloved the goddamn lightweight division. He had to do it in the mud, the gravel. He had to do it in the landfill when it came to money. But he went over there and beat George Kambosos the first time to become undisputed all the way across the board. You know what I'm saying? No belts left. None. Out. And then 140. Just because what's going on now with the lawsuit, it doesn't erase the fact that he has been undisputed. He is the former undisputed in the 4-belt era. You can't take that away. But with that undisputed, he's very unpopular with the fans. Shakur Stevenson, it's not like he went out here and took an L. It's just people don't like his style. He's going to have to find a different way to gravitate with the fan. And unfortunately, 2 of my people, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, has went on record and say, fuck the fans. You say fuck the fans ain't gonna tell you anything. They just gonna show you. They understand that it's gonna be certain time and when they're on X and it's a tweet that's put up or whatever, and they're gonna read what you putting on there. And the ones that was fucking with you before then is gonna fuck with you even harder now because y'all said fuck the fans. Whereas Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlanga, they, let's say more so Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia fucks up all the time. He just out here keeping attention on him, doing his 1-year suspension. There's more people talking about his antics and what he's saying, and he said, okay, if I want to talk about this court shit, okay, I'll oblige. I'll do something more controversial to show you how much power I got in these streets. I'll show you. I'll remind you how many people tuned in to me to the lead up of me fighting Devin Haney. How many people was up there talking about what I was doing and nobody else. He's right. And then he went on that racist tirade and then went around and took pictures with black fighters. You know what I'm saying? So he's keeping the attention on him. AT&T. He's allowing fans to reach out and continue to stay in tune with what he has going on, such as Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga may be on to something. This article goes on to say, it's unclear why he included the soon-to-be 35-year-old Charlo to his short list, considering that he fought only once in the last 3 years, and the popularity that he once enjoyed during his active years has evaporated. Berlanga versus Jamal Charlo wouldn't sell on pay-per-view at this point. Now, I don't too much agree with that. I think there are some Charlo fans because, let's be honest, people like Mar Charlo more than they do Mel. And even more now that he went in there and ran 12 rounds versus Canelo Alvarez. People always, kind of attach themselves to Mar Charlo a little bit more as far as the maturity goes and everything like that. But both of them together, they can act up and act and be rambunctious. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think that pay-per-view will sell. I think it will sell because let's be honest. Let's not get the Charlos confused. Maul was on the list. You know what I'm saying? Maul was on the list. He was on the roster to potentially face Canelo in a 3-fight deal, but he wasn't able to make that happen. So Little Mel went in there and just totally stepped on any type of family representation for the honor, you know what I'm saying, for the honor and integrity of the Charlos. Hey, bro, I hold it down. No, they're not getting along. He went in there, and I don't think he did minimal. I think it was below minimal. But now Maul Charlo, Edgar Berlanga, Charlo coming back from a hiatus. The Puerto Rican boxing fans is gonna say, "Oh man, yeah, Berlanga should look good in this." But also they're gonna look at Maul Charlo's last fight. They say, "Hey man, Charlo's still dangerous, but this is gonna be a damn good fight." And the last time I checked, isn't Maul Charlo undefeated? Isn't Maul Charlo undefeated? So this is why I disagree with this cat. The pay-per-view will sell because people like Maul Charlo better than Mel. And he's undefeated. And it allows Edgar Berlanga to fight a fighter that's a 2-division champion. You know what I'm saying? He's fought a fighter and lost who was a 4-weight champion. Now he gets to fight an opponent that's a 2-division champion, 54 and 60. This article goes on based off a quote from Edgar Berlanga. Said, F Caleb Plant. Morrell, F Morrell too. Munguia's the guy, and Charlo too, said Edgar Berlanga to the media, saying he wants Jamal Charlo and Hummy Munguia next. Listen, I'm the cash cow, and Plant knows it. He said it. Edgar is the only one right now at 168 that we can make the bag. So I'm the bag, do you hear me? I'm the next pay-per-view star, said Berlanga. And Caleb Plant did say that. Caleb Plant did say that. And Caleb's not new to beef with fighters. For a long time, he even told me twice on 2 different occasions that David Benavidez was the easiest in the division, but they never stepped in the square together. And when they did, you know, he did make it to the 12th round, but, you know, he lost. He picked up his second loss against David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. But, yeah, of course he would like that fight with Edgar Berlanga. Of course. Let's take a look at what Edgar Berlanga had to say. You know what I'm saying? As far as that quote goes, so you can hear him out of his own mouth.
Your main beef right now in your weight division is going to be with Caleb Plant. Now, if that fight does happen, where would you want to fight him? Would you want to fight him in Puerto Rico
fuck
or the
Caleb
MSG?
Plant. Fuck Plank, whatever his name
Morrell?
is. Fuck him. Morrell, fuck Morrell too.
See, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but, you know, that's Edgar to the media. People want to talk to Edgar because he has personality. Dude got ice dripping all over like it's goddamn the motherfucking Alaska and shit. This motherfucker's on a deep freeze and shit. He has the personality for people to want to walk up and hear what he got to say. Now, he just have to make that, he have to transfer that over to his performance value. And then he'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? He'll be, if he can transfer that over to his ring performances, Edgar Berlanga will be cool. But right now, there's massive changes that's going on with the next face, with the next pay-per-view. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's only one black fighter that's out there that's gonna be running with the torch. We need other black fighters to try to take over, you know, if you consider yourself the cash cow. Right now, Gervonta Davis is the only one right now that's making that pay-per-view money. He's the only one. I'm talking about when Crawford and them leaving, Crawford's not even there yet. To be honest, Crawford's not even there yet. But Tank, let me do a double check right quick on something. I want to check this small little detail right quick. So Tank is 29. For black fighters, Tank 29 years old, he has the pay-per-view status. None of them young lions is taking that away from Tank right now. That's why you hear them calling him out. There's a lot of black fighters. I mean, it's a couple black fighters that want to call him out. But some, they mention his name, but they don't want to goddamn make the money right. They want to go in there and say, okay, look, this is the mentality I'm saying. They'll try to go over there and outprice themselves with Tank because there's some type of disrespect or disconnect that's going on where they think they can go in there and bully the motherfucking dealer. They say, yeah, I want to fight you, but you got to give me this much. If you don't give me this much, it ain't no fight. They want to make it seem like, yeah, we wanted to face Tank, but we didn't hear nothing back. No, treat it like y'all do Canelo. You have people that's facing Canelo. Do you hear of these individuals? Oh, no, the fight ain't going to happen. No, I ain't going to do that. No, these motherfuckers kissing his ass, man. They going in there facing Canelo and they getting what they getting. Whereas Tank, they up here, they want this incredible amount of money to step in there with Tank. And the fighters that have stepped in there with Tank, their career has levitated after that when it comes to popularity. Just ask Isaac Cruz. I mean, on that night, they said a star was born. But that didn't mean Tank was going to fight that man again. Ryan Garcia, you know, he went in there and did or tried to do. He had his moment where he was trying to do a little bit here and there. But if a fighter like Keyshawn, for instance, it's going to take more than social media. It's going to take more than saying fuck the fans. It's going to take more than that. It's going to take more than that, bro. If you want to say you want to knock off Tank Davis, you're going to have to go into negotiations with a sound mind. You're going to have to be reasonable just so you can get in the ring and make the fight happen. The same thing with Shakur Stevenson. You're going to have to start to understand that it's Hispanic fighters out here taking different approaches to how they are gaining exposure for themselves. They doing it in a very indirect way, man. Y'all have to learn how to bring popularity to yourself outside the ring. Saying you're going to kick somebody's ass, who gives a fuck? Saying you're going to knock somebody, we heard this shit before. You have to learn how to build up find somehow, some way to go viral outside of boxing in a positive way. You have to learn how to reach out and handle those logistics and trying to get all these sponsorships. You need to put yourself in a position to branch out to other avenues to build up your global fan base. Black fighters, when it comes to y'all being the cash cow in the next 2 to 3 years, y'all in trouble. The only one that has that right now, that's undefeated, that has the power, the it factor, the equalizer, is Gervonta Davis, period. Until the other ones step up and find that route. You know what I'm saying? Like another good person, Jahad Tucker, great personality. You know what I'm saying? Amazing fighter. You know what I'm saying? Amazing fighter, talented. Just have to find that dynamic because he's very user friendly to the media, confident, and his performances shows in the ring. So we need more than just one black fighter to step up because Hispanic fighters, they're not playing by the playbook. They're using all these other type of methods to get exposure to the fight fans. And just say for instance, right? How Edgar fought Canelo Alvarez, lost. But then he put that video out riding down the street with all these goddamn bikes. Man, come on, man. That shit went viral, bro. Y'all gotta learn how to do some shit that keeps you out of trouble, but still ignite your attention to the public eye. You know what I'm saying? Get people to posture up and say, oh shit, Everybody's talking about that Edgar Berlanga video when he had the bikers out there, motherfucker. He wasn't on a bike, but he had bikes in the front and the back, man. And he lost. He lost, man. They have two ways of doing it, but still they're bringing attention. I like the way Edgar is doing it better than Garcia, because Garcia is more so saying, I'm going to be the most controversial person out here. I'm going to say some more shit that people don't like. You know what I'm saying? He's using a different approach because he's suspended. Believe it or not, Ryan is not as dumb as, people keep on considering him to be. He's using more areas or avenues of approach than Edgar Berlanga. Like Ryan Garcia is all over the place. He's on suspension, and his fight was April 20th. You talking about May, June, July, August, September, right? Okay, his fight was April 20th. Count with me. May, June, July, August, September, and it's about to be October. We're talking about 5 months, 5.5 months, right? And they're still talking about Ryan. He's on suspension. 5.5 months. And they're not talking about him out here shadow boxing or doing jiu-jitsu or anything like that. He's keeping attention on himself through controversy. Not any illegal or running from the police, or I'm goddamn going up in Home Depot and trying to steal a weed blower, a leaf blower. I'm going in a goddamn buffet and I'm getting too many crab legs and I'm not eating them, just throwing them in the trash. He ain't doing no goofy shit like that, but still the shit he doing is goofy. But he's been out 5.5 months off suspension and people still talking about him. Edgar Berlanga gets second place out of a 2-man fight. And he puts a video out. And all people are talking about his video with all them people supporting him. Now, I ain't gonna lie. The shit was smooth though. Being it out, I have. That's one of my foundation. One of my stomping grounds was bikes, street bikes. So to have that many people, bro, what he did was show the world that it's a lot of people out here fucking with him. And these black fighters they have to wake up and come up with ideas if you want to be the next cash cow. Pound for pound is shaky. Pound for pound, you don't get more money for being pound for pound. Pound for pound, you don't get more likes. You know what I'm saying? Crawford, the longest reigning pound for pound. It don't provide you more likes. Boxing is a business, and these are prize fighters. You're trying to become a prize fighter. So therefore, you need to find a way on how to build up the prizes, especially the monetary prizes. We're about to be in trouble. If you black fighters don't get it together and stop believing the same stale, drawn out shit that you want to beat this person up and knock this person, it has to be bigger than boxing, yo. You have to put your mind together and come up with ideas that's bigger than boxing. That shit Berlanga pulled off recently with those bikes. You don't think the promoter is looking at that just like Top Rank did? Top Rank knew he freaking brought butts to the seats. But business and this, that, and the other. Now he goes somewhere else. He takes a loss, but yet he put the video out, and he's done pretty much expanded his exposure to the general public, not just boxing fans, but to the general public. The general public, man, tuned in. Now, we're still waiting to see what T.O. does. T.O. knows how to cater to the media. He's not as dumb as he sounds sometimes. He's not. I've always said, he's a great manipulator when it comes to the media. But just because he's been, trying to ride down the hill with a kickstand down, and just doing dumb shit, doesn't mean he's not thinking about the process. He's out here, getting sponsors, doing something outside, the realm of boxing. We're going to be hurting for American heavyweight for a while, especially when it comes to a champion. We're going to be hurting. That's going to go way past the next 10 years. Seriously, we're done. We're done. They wanted Deontay gone all this time. They just wanted him out of the sport, out of the sport. Now we're right back to where we were with the Klitschko's when they took over. But this is going to expand way longer. The next time we have an American heavyweight champion will be over 10 years. Just think about it. Deontay Wilder lost that belt in February 2020, yo. 21, 22, 23, 24. We're about to go to the 5th year in 2025 without an American heavyweight champion. That's just one half of it. Now we have to collectively think about all the other fighters that's in the lower weight class. Who's going to be the next pound for pound? Because we really don't look at heavyweights. I'm not pound for pound. The cash cow. We don't really look at heavyweights as cash cow. They do make their money though, but we just don't look at them like, okay, so and so is making all this money. Like Usyk and Fury made hellacious amount of money. Joshua, incredible amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Wilder ended up picking up some nice bags too. Now we have to think about, these divisions that's popping from 135 all the way up to 154, skip 60 to 68. 68 can get it popping. And then 175 will straggle. It pick up some stragglers at 175 and maybe next year. I mean, even with this undisputed fight that's coming up, none of them fighters are really popular. Like Bivol, he did gain some more fans, incredible amount of fans after beating Canelo. But what has happened since then? He had the domestic situation with his girl. He just haven't been able to sustain that. You need to keep that motherfucking light open. What about Beterbiev? He's never going to be the huge freaking, fan base. He's older too. He's going to be on his way out the sport soon. But yes, he's a monster. But he's not a monster when it comes to fan friendly. The cash cow. He ain't it. So y'all better pay attention, because it's gonna be crazy changes. Y'all gonna be up here saying, how Berlanga getting that fight and he ain't did shit? Because people want to come see him fight. His loyal motherfucking fans wants to see him fight. That's up to them. That's gonna be up to Berlanga. If you bring him to the arena, you better tighten up, shawty. You better tighten up. Now, as far as his fan base, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Ryan Garcia doing what they're supposed to do. Like I said, 5.5 months out from suspension, almost damn near halfway through, and they still talking about Ryan Garcia. It don't matter, good or bad, they still talking about him. Who's next? Who's another Hispanic fighter that may potential? Who's next in line for the cash cow? Because we haven't really had two very popular fighters that's cash cows that's making that money. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Gervonta is going to be on a perch all his own. I can't even compare who's going to be next. No knock on Keyshawn, but something's about, like Keyshawn is always angry. Look, black people, we know we're angry like, but bro, you gotta come with something different, man. Like, it just seems like he's always angry. Like, you gotta understand how what it took for Tank to turn the corner. You know what I'm saying? Tank could be a mean motherfucker. He was being mean outside the ring. Tank done turned the corner. That mug is out of sight, out of mind, but still making goddamn money when he do show up. When his name do pop up on the contract, he's still making millions. It ain't no question, goddamn it. Look, it's not even a question. He's going to make his money. So he's going to be on top of that perch for a long time. Now, what we need to be concerned about is the amount of Hispanic fighters that may potentially be on deck. Not worried about Inoue. Inoue has been a golden child for quite some time. But he keeps fighting over in Japan. How do you suppose to grow your U.S. fan base? From overseas? It don't work like that. Yeah, you might be on the pound for pound list. Okay. But how and when do you expect to have that big fight over here in the U.S.? In a way, it's pretty much saying, I really don't care what people say that I need to fight in the U.S. I fight over in Japan. He don't care. Now, of course, you know, there's people calling him out. But if you're going to be the fighter, I don't have no problem with Bruce Carrington calling him out. I like that. He wanted to fight the man. 4-weight world champion. He wanted to fight the man. But the black fighters, if you listen to anything I say, y'all need to come up with a different angle as far as your personality, on how your presentation is. You got to work on your delivery. They already consider black people to be angry people towards their own. They always talking about, oh, it's quick to get them pissed off. You saying you're going to beat somebody else. You saying you're going to fuck them. We heard that already. We done heard the N-word. We heard that, bro. You have to reinvent your presentation out to the public in order for these fans to rock what you have. It's going to take something bigger than your Olympian pedigree. It's going to take something bigger. Being mad at everybody and say, F the fans, you ain't planning on making no 20 mil. See, if you talking about getting money with your own kind, who's out there? When Crawford leaves, what, you going to challenge Crawford? Crawford's about to go. He's the one out there with the credentials. All the rest of the brothers got to build themselves up. Yeah, Shakur got the divisions, but people ain't trying to see him. He got a lot of work to do. There's one fighter who has a long way to go too. You know what I'm saying? That's down there with Keyshawn. Both of them youngins, they can make it happen. Abdullah Mason personality is different than Keyshawn. I'm not gonna put one over the other. But this is something that doesn't sit right with me with this friendship shit, because they should be thinking about making millions together. They should be thinking about making millions together. Not this, oh, I'm a buddy, you a buddy, we're buddies. Nobody's thinking about that. Y'all in the same division. That means y'all going to grow from division to division, 40, 47, 54, however how y'all want to go. Why don't y'all try to establish a rivalry? Why don't y'all try to make millions together? Abdullah Mason, he has the fan-friendly, personality to get fans on board. Jai Tucker, he has the fan-friendly personality to get the fans on board. But we needed to start building and putting them bricks and start building that house right now, because Canelo and Crawford is on their way out the door, gone. Who's next? Y'all gonna let a Berlanga that doesn't even have the championship, doesn't even have performance value? Nobody's talking about his performance with Canelo, but they are talking about the Keyshawn's performances. They are talking about the Abdullah Masons, and they definitely talking about the Jihad Tuckers, aka Electric Boogie. These fighters have to find a way to make them millions. They got the talent. We don't want to. I will speak for me. I don't want to see another era, the next 10 years, where black fighters is fighting, not even just black fighters, but fighters in general is just chasing one fighter at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's impossible to have a non-Hispanic fighter as a cash cow. It's not impossible, because the Floyd era, Floyd just drained everybody. Like it was Mayweather, 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 Mayweather. That's all you saying. Mayweather had the charisma, the machismo, everything you would ask for. He gave you that viewing pleasure outside the ring and showed you how he was getting down. He showed you. He was flashy, bro. He showed you what was going on outside the ring. He let the money be made inside the ring, and he gave you an inside look when he was outside doing his thing with the cars, the houses, all that. That's what he did. And then he allowed Canelo to get his shot, and Canelo goddamn skyrocketed from there. Now Canelo is going to have to make a decision when he's going to retire, who's going to be next. Because one thing I can say about Canelo, he has the accolades and achievements. The only thing Crawford didn't have is the popularity. You know what I'm saying? The pluses when it came to the popularity. It wasn't like Canelo spoke to the media all the time. It's just he had Mexico behind him. So for black fighters, y'all already know what you're up against. We seen it with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia went in there and fought Errol Spence. Errol Spence them knew that Mikey Garcia was going to bring butts to the seats in Texas. They knew that shit. And they made good money off that pay-per-view. But you have to keep it going. You have to keep the helium in the balloon, keep that shit afloat. You can't fuck it up, man. Y'all have to find a way to stay at the motherfucking top. Not run into difficulties and say, hey, we got to make an emergency landing. You got to learn, you got to see how to stay at the top. Because I'm going to stand on it. This should be the last of this era that we have one cash cow like that. Just because these guys are demonstrating their popularity and all that, the Belangas and all them, Ryan Garcia, Tank, I don't see one person in the next 3 years. I don't see just one person. Canelo decides to retire. I think it's going to be a collective group of individuals making decent money. Tank is already up there. But that doesn't mean when it comes to the Hispanic fighters, they're not capable of putting themselves up there making a nice little bag too. I'm telling you. Don't sleep on them. Their fan base is different. See, black fighters can't say they have a fan base. They can't call and say, oh, they have a fan base. But when it comes to Puerto Rico, hey, Puerto Rico, they call their fan base. And then you have the freaking charisma too, to cater to them, the Mexican fan base. They have their fan base that's gonna rock heavy for them. For black fighters, you got to do it 3 times harder. You got to do it 3 times harder because what they see black fighters always going at each other, and they go through the motherfucking YouTube bullshit, and still it don't make them a penny. It don't make them a fucking penny, bro. You got to start trying to think business-wise. Like, how do I get this to translate over to the ring business-wise so we can make motherfucking millions? That's what I want. That's what I want. Not all this YouTube. If y'all understand, like, let's just say this. What Keyshawn and Shakur said. Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson said, F the fans. Right? But look, they're not the problem if you continue to entertain the haters. If you choose to read everything on X and respond to it, what are you doing? Self-harm? Self-harm? If y'all see motherfuckers, getting at you and you respond to them, what do you think somebody else is going to do? They're going to bring the hate too. They're going to say, can I get him to tune in and goddamn respond to me so I can screenshot it and do a live for a week straight and say, Keyshawn feelings hurt. He butt hurt. Shakur Steven crying again. Just like when he lost at the Olympics. You give them a reason to hate on you and shit on you, bro. Y'all have to find a way to win the fans over and still be that villain. Stop being villains toward one another. The fight fans has already seen that with blacks anyway. We've seen it. Just because a fighter call you out don't mean they disrespecting you. No, they're calling you out because money has to be made. And when you hit your motherfucking top of your 20s and go into your 30s, your career is on an hourglass. We have fighters fighting once a year, bro. Once a freaking year. Well, I can't say that for Hummy McGill. Hummy McGill, he go through fight camps like goddamn changing rooms. Y'all got to come up with a plan, bro. Let me get to the chat right quick. Y'all got to come up with a plan that works. Seriously. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the game, man. Salute to y'all for pulling up. Toby says, salute WCS and the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. No doubt about it, Toby. Mr. International is in the building. Salute to you, brother. Arnold Brown in the building. I see you. Mike in the building. I see you. What's good? Toby said Belanga's also really close to Amanda Serrano too. And the Puerto Rican fans love her, so he's got a lot of her fans. Yep. Let's not forget Amanda Serrano. 7. Not 6. 7. Not 5. 7. Not 4. 7. Not 3, 2, 1. 7. 7. Puerto Rican? Yeah. Edgar knows what's going on. Edgar knows what's going on. And the one thing I say about Edgar, bro, he's not one of those fighters that I expect him, like, he ain't frowned up all the time. Dude got mad swag. He has his own type of energy, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? He's smooth with his shit. That's what he's going to need to pull off what he's trying to pull off. And ain't nothing wrong with that. All of us back in the day had some type of, lane that we was in that we felt that we was the smoothest in the game. Boxing is a little bit different. You got the Puerto Rican fan base. You catering to the culture. A lot of artists in the culture. Come on, man. I'm going to be on record. I never seen a boxer lose a fight versus somebody the stature of Canelo Alvarez and then do a video with quads, street bikes, DBs, all of them in the street. Come on, man. Come on, man. That shit ain't easy as you think. He pulled it off, though. And that video went viral. And all he was doing was holding the phone up. He wasn't on a bike like Jay Will. Hey, shout out to OG Mr. Golden in the building. I see you, man. What it do? Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. What up, WCS in the hottest chat? Salute to you, Blue. What's good, man? Swat Jones in the building. What's good with it, Jones? How you feeling, man? WCS salute, big dog. What's good with you, man? Another day, man. Just trying to get people, on par with what's going on for the next 3 years to come. Because if they don't want to see another Hispanic fighter getting all the money and wondering how they doing it and keep on saying the same crap, Edgar Berlanga, he Puerto Rican. No, you got to find a way. Floyd found a way. Nobody's going to tell me and convince me that all Floyd Mayweather fans were black. That ain't true. No one's going to convince me of that. Floyd had it packed. He had it dialed in. He knew how to get the fans' attention. Whenever Floyd did something, man, people wanted to see. They wanted to see, bro. Besides him being in the ring, they wanted to see what he had going on outside the ring. Yeah, people can look at him now and say, oh, he's still fighting. He's going to doing this. I'm talking about when he was on top, wasn't nobody touching him. He was making millions upon millions, and if you look at the top pay-per-views, his name is up there. That's what I like about Tank. Tank has his own dynamic. Tank don't have Puerto Rico behind him, Mexico. Tank has a huge number of black fans who rock with him heavy. Pretty much he has the pedigree in the jacket. Be more. He ain't getting nothing easy. He wasn't no Olympic standout where he, won the gold medal or two. He ain't no Vasily Lomachenko when it comes to the amateurs. But God blessed him for him. He has what is missing right now in boxing. You having somebody there to get those knockouts to finish and close down the night. And he is an early finisher. And people want to be on the edge of their seat, say, okay. When he's going, I mean, come on, man. Come on, bro. You know it. Berlanga too funny. Folks showed up for Saul, not Edgar. Edgar did all right. But no, dog, you was not the deciding factor in why most folks brought the pay-per-view. Edgar funny. Look, hey, put it this way, Jones. And not saying you're wrong, but I've seen Edgar pack the house out when he was at Top Rank. He does have fans. Edgar has fans. Now, of course, Canelo's on a whole nother level. Yes, sir. No disputing that. Edgar's on a whole nother level. I mean, Canelo. But Edgar is trying to get there, right? Edgar is trying his best to get there. And he has a fan base that he's been building up outside the ring. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you his performances in the ring. His first 16 was good. He was knocking them off. He never should have hopped up on the top rope and said, I'm a monster. He should have just stayed down there and celebrated, because when he said that, the knockout stopped. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't believe in yourself, man, who's going to believe in you? If you don't tell the people that you're this, that, and the other, who's going to do it for you? Your hype man? They're going to say your hype man is not in the ring. So since Edgar is the one in the ring answering the bell, he has to tell the people what he think he is. You got to convince them I'm him. Just like it's 10 other fighters saying, yeah, I'm him. No, I'm him. No, I'm him. You're going to have other fighters up here trying to convince people they're who they are in their weight class. It's difficult, bro. But I do agree. But when you say he's funny, Edgar will say that shit with a smile on his face, man. He'll say it with a smile on his face, bro. The OG Bruce Gaz Boxing Jazz and more in the building. What's good with it, Bruce? How you feeling? Salute, brother WCS. Salute to you, man. Damn, I didn't even think about that for real. Strong chances it may be 10 plus years before we have an American heavyweight, no matter the race. You're not lying. No matter the race. I said American heavyweight. I didn't see a black heavyweight champion. The black heavyweight champions, it's not like it's unachievable. Jared Anderson is not out the door. But, people are going to always go back to that documentary with him and Roy Jones and him saying he didn't ask for this. But Jared is young. He's like 20, 24, 23, 24. Man, you know what I'm saying? It depends. But American heavyweight in general, we way, I'm talking about, man, we so far. It's gonna go so far. It's gonna go past 10 years so easy. They didn't appreciate when Wilder came in here and picked up the belt. Now they're gonna be up here supporting other fighters from different countries because they too stupid to support the one they had in their own country. They have to support these neighboring fighters in another country. And then they're going to put these lives out here like they're boxing historians. Whatever happened to the heavyweight champ, the U.S. heavyweight champion? Does it still exist? Will it ever exist again? They'll try to say, who's been the best in the last 15 years? And then, Deontay Wilder will be the only one when it comes to American. And then they would show everybody else that may have been in conversation. But it's going to be a long freaking time, yo. It's going to be a long time, a very long time. Just think about how fast those 5.5 years has passed. Just think about that. 5 years plus has passed that quick, y'all, with no heavyweight champion off the U.S. footprint. Crazy. Crazy. Shout out to Latch Puma in the building, man. What's good with you, bro? WCS, what it do? What it do, bro? What's popping? When was your last win, AK Hot Grease Gumbo? I thought that was you. Salute, brother. Yeah. That's Gumbo. Shout out to Gumbo, man. Hey, shout out to Gumbo, AK Hot Grease. What's good? Salute to your brother. Hope you push past that storm. He said, talk that ish WCS. Let him know, bro. Hey, man, the one thing I know that Gumbo's happy about, he's happy Deontay's not around no more. You know what I'm saying? When he heard me say that, he probably blew his horn on his truck. He probably was swerving back and forth. Goddamn, the shipment moving around in the back. He didn't like no Deontay, boy. Shout out to KQKC in the building. What's good with it, KQ? How you feeling, bro? Only thing about Edgar is that his attitude would be his downfall. Well, I look at it like this. If we talking about attitudes, that's boxing in general. In my opinion, that's boxing in general. There are fighters that had attitudes. I mean, we go back to the Mikes. You know what I'm saying? The Iron Mikes, he was a savage, bro. It doesn't get any more savage than that man is treated like a boxing god. A boxing god, bro. That man did some of the worst that you can ever do in boxing. Some of the worst. Mike Tyson. He removed body parts off an opponent. When have you seen a heavyweight do what Mike Tyson did? He bit Evander's ears, not ears, both of them. Both of them. I don't think it's too many fighters that can get past the stuff Mike Tyson was doing in the press conference. Fighting and all that, it was different back then. Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rothman moving furniture. Riddick Bowe punching Larry Donald square in the mouth, cutting his lip before the fight, and they still fought. People talking about lawsuits. Could you imagine Ryan punching Devin in the lip and cutting it? Oh no, the fights. Man, it was built different back then, yo. Riddick Bowe, man, he has one loss, and that's one of my favorite heavyweights. He used to throw them bows, man. He punched Larry Donald in the mouth with a 2-piece, cut his lip open, and goddamn, they still fought, bro. No lawsuit. Man, them cats were cut different back in the day, man. Let's not even get with James Toney, Roy Jones Jr. Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. These dudes doing lawsuits, bro. Can you imagine what transpired back in the press conference then? Can you imagine these fighters went at each other? It was incredible. I mean, incredible stare downs, man. Incredible fights. Fighters have always had some type of mystique or some type of freaking, attitude about them. Some type of growl. You know what I'm saying? Some type of arrogance, ego. That is what you need to have in a full contact sport. You gotta have some arrogance and ego about you. You gotta make people think like, God damn, what do we like about him, motherfucker, man? It's a difference between mean and an asshole. It's a difference. It's a difference between being mean and an asshole, yo. You can be mean, and people say, "Oh, so and so mean towards their opposition. So and so just 'cause down to earth, straight to business type of dude." And then being an asshole is just like not even giving a damn about who supports you. Always doing fucked up shit, treating people like, you know what I'm saying? You're just pretty much acting like the Charlos used to do. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's a lot of fighters that's in here with attitudes, but they attitudes is asshole type shit, bro. I've seen it. It's some fighters that's cool. You always hear me say, man, so and so was cool. I met Edgar Berlanga, cool cat, cool as a fan. Jahal Tucker, cool as a fan. Abdullah Mason, you know what I'm saying? Keyshawn, he has, you know, Keyshawn never. I don't have nothing bad to say about Keyshawn, but his personality is different. You know, just what you're getting on there with Keyshawn is, yeah, that's about where you at with it. I wouldn't say Shakur Stevenson has a bad attitude either. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that. I never had no bad run in. Even Bud Crawford, I never had no bad run in with Bud because I wasn't there on some shit, some bullshit. If I asked him to take a picture, he'd take a picture and walk away. You know what I'm saying? He did give me the interview. You know, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like, if you went to fights, you can say, you know, I always say, Alexander Usyk, oddball. You know what I'm saying? Mug came in the building with Frankenstein shoes on, dressed in all black with the Russian cap on. Only he can pull that off. I'm up there taking pictures. He was up there playing to the camera. I said, hey, you mind? Yeah, cool as a fan, bro. I ain't gonna lie, even Tyson Fury. I know people ain't gonna want to tell it, but Tyson wasn't no asshole, man. Seriously. Tyson Fury wasn't no asshole, bro. You know, the crazy part of the way, you know, just talking about, you know, the personalities that's needed in the sport. Everybody's personality comparable to their looks. You gotta lock it in, man. You gotta find a way and get some people around you to see what works for how you gonna bring the fan base, how you gonna expand your fan base. You gotta have some people around you to let you know them little details, because your fan base is gonna make you money. It's a business at the end of the day, but you, the fighter, you have to know how to build a business too. You gotta know how to build a motherfucker, man. Some of these fighters don't have no freaking personality, and they don't freaking care, man. Don't wait till you in your 30s to make these big paychecks, bro. You have enough examples out here that you've seen to say, no, I can't be that fighter. I want to make these big paychecks early. That's why I commend Tio how he negotiated the Lomachenko fight. Tio didn't have the accolades Lomachenko did when he did that. He just had a Richard Comey win. Richard Comey wasn't undefeated when Lomachenko beat him. But when he went in there to the Lomachenko fight for the unification for Undisputed in the franchise era, he negotiated. That takes cojones. That takes cojones to do that shit, man. That takes cojones to negotiate your contract with an individual that was a 3-weight world champion, 2-time gold standard Olympian champion, the golden child. And you go in there and negotiate your contract, and you ain't did shit but beat Richard Comey for the IBF World Championship, and you want to come in here. Hey, man, you got to start somewhere, but you have to be reasonable about the shit. What was T.O.'s hashtag? The takeover. You know? The takeover. And people was on board with the takeover because his performances, dancing, excitement, post-fight celebration. Yeah. These other fighters gotta find out, man. They gotta find out how to do it. All this seriousness. You already fucking boxing already. People already know you serious. God damn. You got to find a way to be serious, but yet find that attraction, what the fans like about you. for them to come and want to talk to you in a press conference. Don't nobody want to go over here and be walking on eggshells. Like Canelo has just started being that guy since he's catering to the U.S. media a lot. You know, like the point where he wanted to put the disclaimer out there. Tell the media not to ask about David Benavidez. I don't want it. And then they put the word out. You ask about David Benavidez, you'll be revoked. Your credentials will be revoked. Says Sir Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Now you're basically taking away the freedom of speech, really. You're being a prima donna. But when you get to Canelo's level, I guess you can do some shit like that. We have a very small pool of people with personalities, and they better be thinking about who's going to be next in line to compete with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, when it comes to the U.S., he's making his money because he has the knockouts, he has the star power. Edgar Berlanga doesn't have that star power in the ring. But it's only a matter of time. He's gonna make a couple of big checks, and he's gonna take another loss. Seriously, he fuck around with Jaime Miguel, he might take that loss too. Who knows? He may have his best outing with Jaime. I don't know. Mar Charlo, I can't say with Mar Charlo. It's been a minute. But Mar Charlo is at a point he's too old to become the cash cow. So who's gonna be next? Saying who's gonna be the next cash cow when Crawford and Canelo leaves? You have to wonder who's next. Who's gonna be next? Will it be at the 168-pound division? I already put it out there. It's never gonna be another Canelo that's gonna be making all that money just because he's a Mexican fighter. There will be fighters, Hispanic fighters, that's making pretty good money because of who they are and who their fan base consists of. Yeah. So for black fighters, you got to find that dynamic that Floyd Mayweather had in this era to get the black fight fans to fuck with you in a positive way. You can't say fuck the fans and expect to go in here and make $30 million because you think the promoter is going to appease you. They're not going to motherfucking appease you. You're one of many. If you ask somebody about, a Jihad Tucker, they don't have nothing negative to say about him going out here in town and getting arrested and doing stupid shit. They asked about Abdullah Mason. They like Abdullah Mason personality, ain't been out here being arrested and nothing. If you met their family, their dad, he got the squad on tap. Respectful group of sons he got. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn, he ain't did shit to me. He just seemed high strung a lot. You know what I'm saying? He does. He seemed high strung a lot. And these are big names that's coming up through the ranks that's trying to establish something. It's not going to be Alberto Puello. Another person that you better not sleep on that a lot of people like. Don't sleep on Jose Valenzuela, goddammit. I'm telling you, that's another name. Jose Valenzuela, y'all better watch out. Jose Valenzuela, he has to talk. Man, I'm telling you, do not sleep on freaking El Rayo. Fans like that dude, bro. He has a fan-friendly style. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the tank KO closer. But people like him, man. Jesban Rodriguez is another one. He let his performances speak for itself. But he nobody hears from him in between fights. I mean, he's in the lower divisions too. Nobody hears from him. And I think he's about to go up to bantamweight, I think. Bam is going to be a 3-division champion soon because he's guaranteed to be a bantamweight world champion, guaranteed. Bam Rodriguez may potentially walk out of here, not to get off topic, but he may potentially walk up out of here 5-division champion, bro. Real talk. It all depends on how, because he's not a big guy at all. I'll say 4. 3 for sure. He's going to be a bantamweight and potentially may move up to super bantam. So, yeah, 4 for sure. 4 for sure. I don't know if he's going to move up to 26, though. But I say that, and then I look at freaking Robeisy Ramirez, He's not a big guy at all. He is an Olympian, but he's not a big guy at all. He's at 26, you know. So we'll see how that works. So you're not lying. Things were different back in the day, and no lawsuits. Yeah, no lawsuits, man. You know what I'm saying? Cats was getting punched, kicked, jumping off cars. You know what I'm saying? They was on site back in the day. It was different. They weren't talking about suing. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It was a couple of lawsuits back then, but it wasn't for just doing something crazy. It was for boxing. Seriously, it was for some other shit. Shout out to the News by Shot News Sauce Experience, man. Salute to your Team Tucker official on deck. Said salute my guy. When was your last win? And salute to Sauce. You know, on the work he put on fight week. It wasn't even Jahaz Tucker fight week either. You know, just to put that out there. Great job with that media. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that may have any questions about, you know, someone that's actively covering fights, you know, hit him up. But you know, I'm just talking to in a fan right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit him up, ask him how it all goes down. I don't know why y'all, you know, circling the wagon and you know, you see stuff going on and you don't want to say, hey, just wanted to ask you about something. You know what I'm saying? How is this, and this? He was there. Great footage, man. Great footage. You right, have to sell yourself and have a personality. Yeah, you definitely have to have a personality that sticks with the fan. You know, people, you know, every fighter is not gonna have a likable personality. Just like we heard Samson always talking about Crawford don't have a likable style, you know, to him. But it seems like they about to go to purse bid, you know, go figure. But people say that Crawford don't have a personality or something. You know, they say he boring when it comes to the camera. Everybody has their personality. The only reason I kind of relate to Crawford, cause I am like that. I was like that in the military. I was just in my lane. I didn't have ever a huge group of people that I was around that I looked to give me vindication, you know, to give me empowerment. I just never was that cat, right? You know, I'm not saying I ain't hang out. Like I had a huge, you know, on the bike scene, but I'm talking about in the core, you know, I pretty much low maintenance, you know what I'm saying? Move in silence. But this, you know, this era right here, it's different. You have social media, you have people that's believing that numbers dictate who you are as a human being. Yeah, your birthday dictate your ass getting older. That's what that dictate right there. That's some numbers that you should understand. Every day you go by in life, fucking off this YouTube and acting like you're gonna become the richest person off YouTube, you're getting older. And the one way to enhance those numbers right there is continue to come over here mad, mean, upset about shit. You know? I mean, hey, you gotta find out, man. You gotta find out how to make it happen. You know? Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Devin haven't fought since that ass whipping ridiculous behavior. Well, we can definitely see that there are people out here believing that, you know, this lawsuit's supposed to be 50 to 100 million, 50 to 100 million, and it's going to change the scope of boxing. Like I said before, I'm not advocating for this lawsuit. It's not my lawsuit. All I'm saying is for the individuals that's putting it out there like it's going to be historical, like it's going down in the boxing annals, that Devin changed boxing as we see it. Okay. Hey, to each his own. You know, you want to pay for legal representation, to each his own. I don't agree with it. I would rather say the fight fans will respect Devin more if you was to go in there and whoop Ryan's ass in the rematch. Don't nobody want to see you fighting Ryan Garcia after a lawsuit. This ain't goddamn Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder didn't go in there and was suing Tyson Fury. He was suing because he had a fight. He was contractually bonded by a fight to face Fury in the trilogy, while Eddie Hearn was up here trying to sell it to the people that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua were about to fight for Undisputed. No, I had to go to court, and that's what he did. It's a difference. It's a difference. But I don't think in this case right here, you know what I'm saying? I don't think in this case right here, suing for pads and all this other stuff, you know, that they put out there already. Like I said, to each his own. But man, you'll gain more respect at the end of the day. Respect is going to get you more money in the future. You want to go sue Ryan and then want to have a rematch with him. What did WCS say months ago? I said, the only fighter that's going to give you a similar payday for what you had before is Ryan Garcia. What the Haneys are doing, in my opinion, is still trying to recruit pain and suffering. That's what it seems like to me. They're trying to recruit pain and suffering. Pain and suffering, y'all, from the humiliation of people talking about the way that fight turned out. That's what it seems like to me. But did you hear what Andre Ward said? I think it was one of the most infamous in this era, G-checks, from somebody who retired undefeated. Gold medal Olympian. Did you hear what he asked? One question, the ultimate, that resonated the most to me, y'all, when he said to Devin, you felt like it was just the PEDs? You felt like it was just the PEDs on why he had his way with you? You felt like it was just the PEDs? That was, oh my God, yo. Come on, bro. That was profound on what he said, man. You felt like it was just the PEDs, right? Then he asked him, was he that fast? He asked Devin, how did you get caught with the left so fast? I mean, so early. How did you get caught like that? Was it that fast? All I gotta say, you know, this is not the moment for, once again, for those of you that's on YouTube who are Haney fans to be mad at anything that any other content creator has to say that's not on board with this, you know, Haney, the actions that he's taken in the court of law. He has the right to take the actions all he wants. That's his given right. They have the money for legal representation and they want to sue, you know, a civil lawsuit versus Ryan Garcia. Cool. I just feel like the only fight that you're going to make that money from is Ryan Garcia. And at this point right now, it's just such a bad time. It's bad because boxing is going through a transition right now, yo. It's not a lot popping right now. This 2024 wasn't, you know, the fireworks that you would expect, man. The sky wasn't lit. It was more so, if the sky was lit, it was just some lightning over here and lightning over there. It wasn't really no thunder. Yeah, it was some cloud canopy, but 2024 in boxing, no. It just wasn't a lot going on. So hearing this lawsuit, I'll just say, you know, for Haney, who people saying it was the next Floyd, this, that, and the other. Bro, if you sue and you don't come out victorious, it's gonna affect you for longer than you think. I mean, it's almost like people are saying now that, you know, he's trying to get compensated for pain and suffering from the way Ryan handled him in the ring. And yeah, it's gonna be a million freaking jokes and memes about that shit. You know what I'm saying? From the outfit you wore in there to the way Ryan Garcia had his way to what happened after the fight. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want. But they're always going to hold Devin accountable for saying he'll never lose to a white boy. And when you lost to a white boy, you wanted to sue him. They acting like they getting some of that money. This generation of males are not men the way they move. They move different. They definitely move different. But you know, what's crazy there on Gumbo and everybody else in the chat is, you know, you can be on the YTC and you can see people that you communicate with, right? Like you see them often on the YTC. Some, you know, you do meet in person. But it's beyond me that relationships are disconnected, severed friendships over the fighter that you talk heavy on. It's only certain individuals that you can communicate with. They support their fighter that may be opposite of the fighter you support. But there's so much backstabbing that goes on in the YTC based off who you support. It's almost like in order for you to maintain, well, not for me, but for some of these cats, you have to support the fighters that they support. And it's okay, man. But I just don't see why would it shred any type of friendship you had with another content creator based off their words. You know, content creators like myself, yes, I will get I will ad-lib the shit out of some stuff and be extremely sarcastic on purpose, knowing that certain people are listening to me and they feel some type of way. I will purposely go above and beyond, knowing that they may be listening in to drive that rusty nail in your soul. I would, because I know how sensitive some cats are out here. But really, this shit ain't personal to me until someone talks about slapping you and, you know, telling lies on you and all this other bullshit that goes on. We're talking about boxing at the end of the day. Talk your shit about your fighter, but don't act like you was in the gym holding a spit bucket. Don't act like that. Don't act like you was wrapping the hands and they call you up specifically. Scotty, hey man, what you doing? Anything going on? I was wondering, can you come over here and wrap my hands, man? You're the best in the game, man. You can? How long is it gonna take you? I gotta catch a flight. It don't matter, man. I'll be here. You know, that conversation is not happening. It don't exist. You know, it don't exist, man. This YouTube shit is gonna drive a lot of you cats old, you know, before your time. It's good. It's good to have some, you know, it's good to deliver some headstones here and there. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have this new group of fighters that y'all should be putting information out there and help them understand what happened to Spence can happen to anybody. Spence was on top of the game, popularity and all that, and one fighter shut that all down. And now that fighter, when his name pops up in the media, you definitely have to just pump the brakes, just flutter, you know, kick that clutch, play around, granny shift that clutch a little bit, just chill and do your own research, because the media be fucking with you. You know, a fighter that's not in the ring right now, they'll put some media out there that's false just to, you know, keep the fighter relevant for a little bit until you get some totally different news. Y'all need to, you know, get on board and make sure these fighters understand what's about to happen in the next 3 years. The old guard is going to be totally, you know, switched out a little bit. I mean, come on now. The young bulls is going to be fighting for dominance in the pasture. Who's going to be eating the greener grass? Who's going to be making all the goddamn money? That's what y'all need to be concerned about. Not sitting up here telling me, hey man, doing the same shit we doing now. Talking about, oh man, I hope that fight happen. I hope this fight happen. I hope that. I mean, bro, you need to be educating these fighters on what they should be doing to build up their brand and to build up their boxing FICO, so their appraising value when it comes to negotiation table, they have that type of leverage that whoever they negotiating with respects. It's going to take more than you coming in there talking about, I got this many divisions. What have you done on pay-per-view is the question. That's the answer that Teofimo has to answer. Edgar Berlanga's have to answer. All of them Hispanic fight, even the black fighters, besides Tank. Tank, he has his jacket. He has his record jacket. He has those pay-per-views. He has it. He's established, bro. It's just all the other black fighters that's in his weight class and around him. We got to start seeing how you're able to make this fight. How are you going to entice Tank to fight you when you don't have no fucking pay-per-views? His team is all about the prize fighting. They're not all about gifts, giving out presents and shit. Oh man, you're a cool guy. You're stepping here. And look, as black fight fans, we're gonna have all this criticism for Tank, right? But when he give Isaac Cruz, they'll criticize. They say, oh, he gave Isaac Cruz, who didn't have a championship and this, that, and the other, but he wouldn't give so-and-so. Hey, you got to find out the dynamic, because a lot of people tuned in for that fight, and it changed Isaac's boxing life for a little bit. It changed him. He all he did was go the distance. He was walking around here. Hey, Isaac. Isaac. Call me Isaac today. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm just telling you. Shit. A civil lawsuit has a cap. Hey, from my understanding, they were suing for millions, not no freaking thousands. They're suing for millions. And that's why people are saying that Devin's trying to get compensation for the way the fight turned out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He would do better just talking his shit, talking about this, and this. And, okay, I want the rematch. I assure y'all, fuck all that suing. I assure y'all, I want to fight Ryan Garcia when he comes back off suspension. And then we will know early semester of 2025, they're going to be in fight camp for the rematch. And the build up to that shit, oh my God, it will be everything Devin Haney wanted. He going to have people like, oh man, Devin and Ryan is fighting the rematch. They're going to be curious to see how Ryan Garcia looks clean, no pads. And they're going to be able to see Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia at a different weight class. This ain't going to be at no 140. What's the purpose of being at 140 anymore? This definitely going to be at 147. So we don't have to worry about Ryan Garcia coming in overweight. Devin has basically been 147 easy when he fought Regis Prograis. So that shouldn't be a problem for him. Both of them should hydrate the way they're supposed to. It should be comfortable for both fighters. But something concerns me when I hear Devin say everything has to be right. I don't know what that means. Because fighters have been, drug tests forever and a day. So the drug testing, let's just put that aside. That's going to happen regardless, because that's going to be requested. Outside of the drug testing, what you going to do? You think you're going to sue him and then come in there and say, I want 60-40 just because of what happened last time? It ain't going to work. I want 70-30. Why? Oh, because last time it ain't going to work. You're suing the man. If Devin Haney sues and lose, okay? If he sues and lose, he can't go into the next negotiation like he's choosing. You're going to be SOL, bro. Shit out of luck. If you go into the lawsuit and you win, if you think Ryan Garcia didn't have fans before, oh, he really going to have fans then. Because they're going to find that as a victory for Ryan Garcia, because he was taken to court And all they're gonna be talking about how he did you dirty. He did you so dirty, saying he was never gonna lose to a white boy, and Ryan ended up being the white boy that beat you. They're gonna slaughter you in the media. I'm just talking and giving my opinion there, Devin. I just think you should fight for the rematch. Once again, you know how you feeling. And there's people up here saying you got PTSD and all that. I don't care who gets mad, at me just voicing my opinion. I'm not, Devin kept getting up each and every time. So just like freaking Errol Spence did, Devin kept getting up. He showed he wasn't a quitter. He ain't no bitch, But this lawsuit right here, it isn't a good look all the way around because Ryan Garcia is the only one that can give you the payday that you're looking for in a rematch. And that payday is not going to come easy if you take this man to court. You win, it's only going to boost up Ryan Garcia because once that verdict come down, and let's just say he has to come out some money, you ain't getting no $100 million from Ryan. I can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say he wins for whatever the amount. Once that's over, all Ryan gonna do is take to his fan base and shit on you even more. That's all. He's gonna say, guess what? You got your money, and you're never gonna be able to fight with me. I'm the only fighter that can get you the money that you're looking for. Ain't nobody else gonna give you the money I can get you. He's gonna make a point. He's gonna say you're not gonna be able to get the money or the zeros that you would facing me. He's gonna slaughter Devin in the media. And there's nobody that Devin's gonna fight right now that's gonna give him Ryan Garcia money. Not even Tank is gonna want to fight. Well, they might, but Tank is at 135. And he ain't going to no 147 anytime soon. So if you look at anybody else, now who out there? Who else is going to give you a paycheck around that 135, 140 division? Who at 147 is going to give you that paycheck? You going to fight Boot Sanders? That ain't happening. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who you going to fight? Even when you fight Boot Sanders, he's not going to give you the check you'll get against Ryan Garcia. So who are you going to fight? I'll say for the next 2 or 3 years, Devin's going to be struggling to try to equal the check that he made against Ryan Garcia. Yeah, people listening in may feel some type of way about it and say, you don't know that. But like I said before, if y'all want to boost up Ryan Garcia's social media following, and you want to say he bring consumers to the arena, then you have to also put that in perspective with this scenario. Devin needs Ryan Garcia for a rematch that now has a backstory and intrigue and a lot of suspense to it, and a freaking backstory that's full of controversy. The fight fans love controversy. This is the perfect, storyline to prep y'all for 2025. But yet you suing the man. You're suing him, bro. It's not gonna be good, shawty. It's not gonna be good, man. Cause Ryan's gonna rake you over all the motherfucking demons that's in his head, boy. Jeez. Ryan the type of nigga that'll sit up there and say, hey, I know I can make that back in one fight that I gave you. Ryan got a lot more shit that he gonna have to recover from too, with everything that happened from that fight. But he's a youngin', and he has a lot more things that's going on. Seriously, he has a lot other ventures that's going on that can make him money. I know people don't want to hear that, but I'm just telling you what's out there. Oh, me, Dev tripping. I wanted to be on my terms. What the hell does that mean? He better win this lawsuit. Either way, if I'm a promoter, I wouldn't want him near my business. Yeah. But, the one thing about lawsuits is, like I said previously, boxing doesn't have when you put boxing on a diagram, it's not a mass. It's not one entity. Boxing is not one entity. Boxing is basically operating within a system, and the uniformity is non-existent within that system. So just because you win a lawsuit in New York doesn't mean you'll win a lawsuit anywhere else. And you don't have a president like the UFC or one championship that can handle situations like that. See, let's just use this as an example. If Devin was in the UFC, Dana White can decide to do whatever he wants. Like, he's the president. He get with his people. You know, Dana has been on record saying, hey, so-and-so will never fight over here again. They'll never fight over here again. Period. They'll never fight over here again. Now you got to go and try to find work. That's how MMA is. And now you got to find work. It's very limited because UFC is the cream of the crop when it comes to the stage of mixed martial arts. So PFL is doing their thing, but they have tournament-based freaking fightings too where you can make money. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lance. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lance Palmer, two-time. Living good over there, two-time. You know what I'm saying? Tournament winner of $1 million. And Kayla Harris. You know what I'm saying? The father of the 155 division. Now in the UFC. They have limited options that's on the level of the UFC. So imagine if boxing was like that. And then you want to include Golden Boy in there too? I mean, come on, man. You think this ain't the first lawsuit that Oscar's been in? Like, they feeling some type of way that Ryan Garcia had to pay Oscar a fine. I agree. I think the money that Ryan Garcia had to pay Golden Boy should have went to Devin. I absolutely agree. I mean, why wouldn't it go to him? It should have went over there because they the one who was cheated. That's my biggest plus for Team Haney. I don't know why the $1 million went to Golden Boy. And look, y'all, that just goes to show you how dysfunctional the structure is when it comes to boxing. How the fighters are contractors. That's a perfect sign right there to tell you that this shit that Devin has going on with a lawsuit, it's not going to change boxing. Look how Ryan Garcia tested positive and he had to pay a fine to the very same promoter that promotes him. He had to pay $1 million+ fine, bro. How screwed up is that? How is winning a lawsuit in boxing going to change? And people jumping on this bandwagon because it sounds good. Oh, it's going to change the sport forever. How? How? Do you think a fighter that haven't had the opportunity to make the big payday yet, you think they're going to risk their monies to go sue? And it's not guaranteed they're going to walk out victorious and get compensated? Man, come on, bro. Hey, do what you want to do. This lawsuit ain't going to change shit except a decision. Decision either going to be yes in favor of or it's not, no. That's all. If Haney wins, it's screwed up for him because I would be extremely surprised if Ryan Garcia still felt the need to entertain a fight between him and Devin. I'd be extremely surprised, yo. Shout out to Haynes Legacy in the building. What's good with you, Haynes? How you and the family doing, man? Devin problem was he likes beating on little guys. Loma said that Ryan was his size. Yeah, Ryan was his size and bigger. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you have a point, but I don't one part. Yeah, you know, Kambosos wasn't as big as Devin. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I would say this, that it would have been all good if Ryan wouldn't have tested positive for Ostarine. And it is some areas in there that's going to play in favor of Ryan, starting with Scooter, the person that wasn't a part of Ryan Garcia's team, but they requested, you know, in the process of whatever he was trying to do. So being he wasn't a part, it does minimize the liability. Now, where the liability is going to play a role is the fact that he utilized the guy. That's all. He utilized it, and he basically was in receipt of the supplement that Scooter gave him, and then that supplement ultimately returned back contaminated. So just like Ryan Garcia said, he pleaded, they're going to try to use that in court. Oh, he pleaded to it. But the court is going to understand, like, yeah, even if I would have, came out, New York State Athletic Commission still could have suspended me. So I just said, okay, I'll plea and do a year instead of, trying to prove this, that, and the other. And then they come back and give me 2 years out the ring. I mean, the court is going to know that. New York, man, come on. The judicial system, they're going to know all of this. Ryan's going to come in there with attorneys. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you they're going to say, hey, we requested so-and-so pay for our attorney. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's going to get dirty before it get clean, yo. Throat Topic WCS, you cooking, big dog. I'm glad I caught you live, but I catch up on the streams when I can. Be sure to smash the like, y'all. Appreciate it, Jones, for your continued support, my brother. Real talk. Thanks for always pulling up, man. And for those of you that the notifications be, you know what I'm saying, dodging and weaving, I can't do nothing about it, man. That's YouTube. Seriously. That's YouTube. I appreciate your support. Hey, y'all always keep Haynes in your prayers. You know what I'm saying? He said getting ready for surgery tomorrow. Hey, prayers as always for you, bro. I'll definitely be touching bases with you on the hotline to see how that went. Or you can let me know, you know what I'm saying? But y'all, keep Haynes in his prayers. He having surgery and he been having health, concerns. So, yeah. Best wishes to you. Blessings, my brother. There was one other, what else? I had another, speaking of that, let me go here right quick. So this is Boxing News 24, of course. It say Ryan Garcia getting sued for 50 to 100 million could deter people, said Eddie Hearns. And those are the two individuals right there, the two litigants. It said promoter Eddie Hearn believes that Devin Haney's lawsuit against Ryan Garcia for 50 to 100 million could act as a deterrent to prevent other fighters from using performance-enhancing drugs to gain an advantage in the fight. First of all, WCS is going to tell you straight up, there's not abundance of information or evidence to say that every fighter that tests positive for PEDs willingly, knowingly ingested it because it was performance-enhancing drugs. Yes, there have been fighters who are vindicated, and there have been fighters who are punished. But it's not 100% result that every fighter who tests positive has to be weary of a lawsuit. Come on, man. Supplements are supplements. It's hard. Look, in order for a fighter to get a supplement tested, it takes money. I'm just putting it out there. It said on Friday, Haney issued a lawsuit against Ryan from their April 20th fight early this year, in which Garcia tested positive for the PED ostarine after Ryan defeated Haney by a 12-round majority decision, which was later changed to a no contest because of his positive test. It says, it's an interesting case. I was talking to my attorney on the way up here. He's suing Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy in that suit as well, said Eddie Hearn, discussing Devin Haney's lawsuit against Ryan Garcia. If the lawsuit is successful, this could change the sport, scaring cheaters from using PEDs in the future. Whether Haney would get 50 to 100 million for the lawsuit is unknown. That would be severe punishment. Sometimes when someone tests positive after the fight, is quite different than testing before making it to the fight. But when you're in the fight and you're cheated and you've had performance enhancing drugs in your system and it made you physically win the fight, said Hearn. Well, let's talk about physically winning the fight. Once again, it is not on record that every fighter who was tested positive was victorious in that fight. It's no way possible. Performance enhancing drugs does not provide the data, is not a neurological type of enhancer to allow a fighter to become a savant in the sport of boxing. It doesn't. It doesn't provide you with the know-how and knowledge. Say, hey, you're reinvented right now. It's not like the Marvel comics transforming. You're not transforming into anyone different. So just because people want to say, yeah, he beat me is on pads. And what Andre Ward say? You felt like it was just the pads? Come on, bro. You felt like it was just the pads. That's why it turned out the way it did. Look, y'all. Y'all don't know. Y'all have no idea how severe this is. Because if Devin goes in here and wins this lawsuit and Ryan Garcia gives him a fight and he goes in there and does the exact same thing, may not in the same manner, but he goes in there and win the fight, Devin's fan base or Devin's what popularity he does have is done. It's burned, it's evaporated, it's gone. Because you took the man to court to get compensation for everything the fans are telling you. And you feel like if it wasn't for Ryan Garcia beating you the way he did, you wouldn't have had so many fans jump ship and abandon you. You go in here and win this lawsuit, and somehow, some way, Ryan Garcia provides you another opportunity just based off the strength that he feels that he can beat you. And you go in there and lose, you're done. But if you get a rematch with Ryan Garcia and you win, of course, that's going to prove that you was on to something. That's going to prove that you was on to something. But I don't think Ryan's going to give him a shot after this lawsuit. I don't think so. And then you have to look at it this way too. If it even make it to court. If it even makes it to court, bro. See, I don't see Ryan Garcia taking a plea on this. What I mean by that, I don't see him settling out of court. I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. I'll be surprised like no other if Garcia settled out of court on this. I don't think it's going to happen at all. Some feel what's going to happen with Haney, but not because of his loss to Ryan and his PED test. They just see Haney as being too weak and fragile to beat the upper echelon fighters at 140 or 47. His only experience at 140 before fighting Ryan last April was Regis Prograis, an older fighter in his mid-30s who Josh Taylor had already beaten. It goes on to say, you may have physically damaged the opponent and mentally damaged the opponent. You stopped the opponent from earning money because he lost the fight. It's always something that people have talked about, but it's never something that people have actually taken to court. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Okay, let's talk about a fighter who has lost money. It's not guaranteed to say that Haney lost any money because he didn't pay out any fines. He actually earned more than what he was going to make based off the pounds that Garcia came in over the required limit. He was paid extra. That was made whole. That was over and done with. Now, whatever else he's considering, if he's feeling some form of post-fight, pain and suffering, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder and all this, that's him, man. I'm not really making fun of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a bad look once this trial gets under place and the transcript comes out and you have in there saying it was hard for me to sleep. I mean, it's just going to destroy Haney. It don't matter. He's not getting $100 million. And I don't think he's even getting 50 million. And to be honest, I don't think he's winning the case. But let's just say, for instance, he does win the case and he gets some millions. How are you gonna survive in the sport? I mean, with Eddie Hearns up here talking about it can deter fighters. It's not gonna deter anybody. It's not gonna cause. Look, yeah, people have to understand that these tests cost. These tests aren't free. If you go to fights, all these fighters aren't tested. Now, if you're in the ranking system, of course, and you're on that level, yes. But all these fighters that fighting and they on TV, they're not being tested yet, bro. This is one of the tweets. You know, Ryan Garcia say, "I'ma sue you for hurting my feelings with that tweet." And then Bill Haney said, "Dumbass." You know, just a little back and forth. And then this article goes on to say it's going to be good to deter people from taking drugs because at this moment for taking Pez is Ryan Garcia's got a year. Now, if Ryan Garcia gets sued for $50 or $100 million, that's definitely make people think. Now WCS is going to go on record as saying they're not going to make an example out of Ryan Garcia with no 50 million. They're not. For what? He's not even a freaking the magnitude of everything he's accomplished in the sport. It's not boiling over into the history books like molten goddamn gold, like melting down bars of gold. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not trying to get him prepped for the Hall of Fame. He hasn't did anything. So what would bring them to make an example out of Garcia? He's not the first fighter to go in here and test positive for Peds. He's not the first fighter. You have these cats that already tested positive, and people drop their name like it's cool. But you know one thing they're not gonna drop is that fighter was in a lawsuit, and that was the last fight they had. No. The next thing that needs to change with boxing is stiff mega million penalties for fighters that hydrate 20 plus pounds to gain an advantage. Whether Hearns want to admit it or not, weight bullies are just as dangerous as fighters using Pez, and that's a problem that need fixing. Okay, talk your shit then, homie. It said the commission, the sanctioning bodies must change the rules by making rehydration clauses mandatory for all weight classes with a secondary weigh-in on the evening of the fight. It's not good if fighters only weigh in the day before a fight and then rapidly rehydrate 25 pounds to crush their opponents. That is a situation. It was all good just a week ago, when just some months ago when fighters was ballooning up in weight now. Also, secondary weigh-ins in the morning of the fight. Let's see. Also, secondary weigh-ins on the morning of the fight are useless because that leaves open the possibility for some unscrupulous fighters to turn to illegal methods like IVs to rapidly add fluid to their system. That's a lot harder to do if the secondary weight check is on the evening of the fight. Ooh, on the evening of the fight. That would be crucial. That would mix some things up, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It would mix some things up, no doubt about it. It would definitely mix some things up, y'all. If they gave you that freaking second weigh-in, real talk, man. But shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. Salute to y'all for tuning in, and everybody else that wasn't in the chat. Just hit the like button for me. Continue to support the channel. We should do this again. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.